kinky bitches, ladies and gentlemen, hello, and today I'm going to be talking about how to fucking conquer your enemies and what it all means, the psychology and science behind it, and there will be an article linked below for you to check out if you're interested in this type of stuff. It does a much better job of explaining this than I do, but I will try and make it interesting for you, and if you're not a big reader, then hopefully what I say will suffice. Okay? So let's really break into it. By the way, if you're not someone who likes to learn or likes to have open-ended ideas presented to you, then you can turn the video off. But if you're someone who does like open-ended ideas, if you're someone who likes to discuss ideas and philosophies and potentially apply new things to your life, then please continue watching. Now, let's say you're faced with someone who you don't necessarily like. Or, I'm sorry, better yet, someone who doesn't like you. Someone who's a hater. Someone who's an asshole. Someone who really gives you a hard time. We all have those people in our life. Every single one of us has those people in our life. Well, Benjamin Franklin figured it out. He figured the secret sauce. He knew how to conquer these people. He knew how to turn a hater into a fan. Not only could he do it quickly, but he could do it without paying them any respect. Which is very, very interesting. So, let's talk about what Benjamin Franklin did. Back in the day, he ran for something called General Clerk of the Assembly. Your guess is as good as mine in terms of what the fuck that actually is. Well, he won the first term, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Second term, he went up against a colleague who he did not name in his autobiography. This colleague slandered the shit out of him. He went up on his speech and he said, Benjamin Franklin is a douchebag, he takes it in the ass from his horse, blah, 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 blah. He probably never said that, because that would be kind of crazy. But, you get the idea. Just badmouth Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin knew this guy. This guy was not, some dunce. He was a smart guy, he was a powerful guy, and he was going to go on to do great things. So Benjamin Franklin said, I cannot have this guy causing me fucking problems the rest of my life, so I need to flip him without paying him any respect. Wow, damn, alright, how does he do it? Well, Benjamin Franklin, being the social pimp that he is, did something incredibly interesting. I might ask you how you deal with a situation where you have to confront a hater. Well, if I was to ask Benjamin Franklin, he would say, I'm going to ask him to do something for me. I'm going to make him do stuff for me. That's what I'm going to do. So he wrote this guy. And he said, could you please find this really rare book for me? And I've been looking for it. Benjamin Franklin, at the time, was known as a book collector. He opened up the first subscription library. And he asked this guy, could you find this really rare book for me? In your head, you might be saying, wow, that's really weird. Why would this guy who hates Benjamin Franklin do anything for him? He's a hater. Why would he do anything? Well, not only did this guy find the book for him, but he actually was pleased with it, and he actually liked Benjamin Franklin after he found it. Benjamin Franklin followed up, sent him a thank you note. They were friends till the day they died. What the fuck happened in that situation? It's like a bully who's, really making my life hard, and then I go up to him and I say, hey, could you teach me how to fight? And then all of a sudden he's super nice to me. And then all of a sudden, we become best friends. So how does that work? Well, there's two things at play right there. Two very important things. One, everybody, and I mean everybody, tends to justify what they do. Everyone has, they have their actions in their life. They do stuff that may not be nice. In their head, they think they're good people. Everyone thinks they're a good person. People, in general, tend to pump themselves up a little bit. They tend to justify what they do and say, I'm above average at all levels. Most people do that. Some people don't. Most people do. So, Benjamin Franklin realized this, and he understood this concept very, very well. The idea that people think that they're better than who they actually are. On top of that, another aspect of psychology that is very fundamental to understand is that your behavior influences your attitudes. So what do I mean by that? I mean that when you're nice to people, you tend to like them. When you're mean to people, you tend to hate them. And it doesn't work the opposite way. In your head, you might say, oh wow, this guy's really nice, so he really appeals to me. It's actually the opposite. If you're really nice to an asshole, then you're going to grow to like them. End of story. You could be really nice to a murderer, and you will learn to like them. That's just the way it works. So, you might not understand what I'm talking about, but we can try and simplify it a little bit more. Benjamin Franklin understood that his enemy liked himself. He understood that his enemy was justifying his actions. So he goes to his enemy and he says, "Could you please help me out in this regard?" The enemy, who in his head thinks of himself as a nice person, who thinks of himself as a really good person, is faced with a situation where he either has to prove his own beliefs or he does not. And because he thinks he's a nice person, he acts on that. He has to. If he believes he's a nice person, he will. And most people think that they're good people. On top of that, once this guy found the book, once he did something nice for Benjamin Franklin, he liked Benjamin Franklin. That's because if you do something nice for somebody, you will like that person. It doesn't matter if this person is the scumbag of the earth, they will like you if, you do something nice for them. Does that make a little bit more sense? So, if I ask you to do something for me, and you do it for me, you will end up liking me more. Isn't that weird? It's weird how that works. So, I could ask, my best friend to, go get me a cheeseburger. And when he gets me that cheeseburger, he's going to like me more, because he did something for me. And in his head, he thought that was a nice thing to do. And the nicer you are to people, the more you like them. It's just the way it works. It's the way we're wired. It's the way human beings operate. It's really fucked up. But Benjamin Franklin, in his crazy knowledge, understood this. So, that, in and of itself, is how you can apply it in life. So if you're faced with someone who is an asshole, a really good way to flip them is to ask them to do something for you. Ask them to help you out in some manner. Not only will they do it for you, but they will end up liking you once they do it for you. Really funnily enough, this is also why people who work shitty jobs end up appreciating the shitty jobs. And that pretty much sums it up, everybody. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go a little deeper into this. We're going to peel back the onion a little bit more. And the explanation should be enough for you. Feel free to close the video and go on about your day. However, I'm going to peel back the onion just a little bit more. Okay? So, there was this experiment that was done. Alright, there was an experiment done where these people came in and all they did was they just twisted these wooden knobs. It was a bullshit experiment. But after about 2 hours of doing this, the subjects, the people who were doing the experiment, they were told to go out into the lobby as they were leaving and tell the person that was next in line that they loved doing it, even if they hated it. And on top of that, these people only got $1. And back in the day, that was the equivalent of like $8 today. So it was like no money. So they got $1, and then they twisted wooden knobs for 2 hours, and then they had to go outside and tell the next person who was in line that they really enjoyed doing it. So they had to lie. Now, interestingly enough, these people internalized it and said, I really, really like this experiment. At the end, they were asked to survey it, to fill out like a questionnaire type thing, and to see if they liked doing what they were doing or if they didn't. Turns out they did. Turns out the people who lied and the people who ended up doing the experiment, they actually really, really enjoyed it. Now, there was a part 2 to this experiment. Another group of people was brought in, and they were given $120, and they were asked to do the exact same shit. The exact same shit. So, they got $120 for twisting wooden knobs for 2 hours. They had to go back out and lie to people. Interestingly enough, when they had to fill out the survey, they ended up saying, we hated this experiment, it was boring as fuck. And that's because what happens is, when you don't get an external reward, when you don't get a large amount of money, or when you don't get some prize, you will actually internalize it, and you will find some meaning to what you're doing. You will find some way, shape, or form to say, wow, that was really helpful in my life. It's just the way you work. If you do something that you don't like doing, and you don't get a big reward from it, your brain will create a reward system in your head. It's really weird. Now, if there is a big external reward, like $120, then you've already got your reward. You don't need to internalize anything. And you'll actually end up saying, wow, that was really fucking boring, I hated that, and give me my $120. So, it's just really interesting how we fucking work, man. And it's just trippy to think that at the end of the day, The way to flip haters is to be nice to them and to ask them to do shit for you. Isn't that fucking weird? Anyways, I thought it was super interesting. If you think it's super interesting, like, comment, and subscribe. If you have some ideas that you want me to talk about, or if you want to just discuss this further, feel free to post in the comment section. Also, read the article if you're more interested. This is a great website called You'reNotSoSmart.com. I've read all sorts of crazy shit from here. In fact, I'll probably do more videos about articles from here. Anyway, it's been real. It's been fun. Take it easy, guys, and I hope you have a fucking awesome day, as always. Peace.